Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of JakeStick.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're watching this video on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. If you're listening to this on any of our audio channels, please give us a 5-star rating. Download this episode and more episodes after this conversation. My latest guest is an actor, director, and writer that has a film coming out in this year called Things Like This. And as of this recording, he has over 222,000 followers on Instagram. So please help me welcome Max Talisman to the podcast.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Max, you're so welcome, and thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to visit this podcast. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you so much. It's going to be a time. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it too. So let's get started. So when did you get interested in performing, and how did that passion evolve into desire to pursue a career in the entertainment industry?
So it was kind of my only option from birth, pretty much. I mean, from the moment I was one, I was singing around the house, as I think, when you hear a lot of creatives, that's kind of the vibe, is that you're born with this passion and this insatiable need to share your creativity. And that's definitely how I was as a child. And my mom was a theater major at Northwestern. She didn't end up following into, the business, but she had a lot of friends in the industry, and she had a good understanding of it. And when I was 8, I did my first show, or 9, or a long time ago, I did my first show, which was Les Miserables. And I was home last week for my birthday, and my dad had the video of me singing Little People as Gavroche saved. So I got to see that, which was pretty wild. But yeah, no, it started at a very early age. And then by the time I was 12 and 13, I was performing professionally in DC as an actor, where I grew up. I grew up right outside of DC. And it just kind of morphed more and more into, this is my only path. This is what I was put here to do. So it's, I love it. Obviously, I'm very, very grateful to get to do this. But it's also, sometimes it feels like not a choice. It's what I'm meant to do, which I definitely believe.
Absolutely. And it's important to do that. And I am a proud theater kid, went in 5th grade to 12th grade performances. Mm-hmm. So I truly admire people that go into live theater, go into filming and television. Mm-hmm. So congratulations on breaking that boundary, because not a lot of theater kids in high school actually have the balls to do what you are doing right now.
Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, I'm lucky that a lot of my friends who I grew up with are super talented and are doing it too. But it's I feel grateful that we've all just kind of pushed each other forward, and it's a great life. I am very grateful to get to be a creative in an industry like this. So
absolutely. And speaking of our industry, this is the only time we'll get serious. I promise that, everybody. As you and I both know, one of the biggest stories that has dominated the industry this year is the 2023 writer strike. And you are a non-writers union affiliated writer. So one of the questions that I always have in my journalism mind is, why did you not decide to originally join a union, and what is your take on the strike?
So I am SAG, so I am part of a union that might go on strike very soon. Obviously, I mean, as of right now, I don't know when this is going to air, but it's, June 21st. So SAG is just at the bargaining table right now. High chance that my union will go on strike. But I would love to join the WGA. I mean, at some point. It's more that, I wrote my first film. It was an independent film. The reason for me to join yet. I think, obviously I care deeply about writers and what the writers are asking for and what they deserve. And I think, I there's nothing that I support more than what the writers believe in right now. So I feel very in tune with it. I feel very I feel part of it. Obviously, SAG is asking for similar things, but it's kind of parallel. It's a little different, but I think this is a real turning point in the industry. There's a lot of stuff that both unions are arguing for that are for the future. They're not necessarily for right now, but we have to have these conversations now because in the future it'll be a conversation we should have had. So it's, you asked me why did I decide not to join the WGA? It was not even kind of an option yet. It's something that I very much intend to do in the next few years, and will do. But it wasn't, when making the film, it wasn't really something that we could prioritize, just based off budget and all of that. So yeah, I think, in the future, obviously, I want to be a part of the WGA. I am a proud member of SAG. I think unions are extremely important to our industry and all industries in, the United States and beyond. But it's, I think we're seeing the power of what a union can do right now. When it's unified, when it's strength in numbers, when we really come together for the common good of the union. So, yeah, it's a type of thing where I'm not WGA yet, but I very much consider myself part of this fight and, standing up for what I think a majority of people in the industry and beyond can see as fair and right. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And Jake's take with Jacob Elyachar stands behind the Writers Guild, and also SAG as well. I'm keeping my eyes up and prayers out for both guilds at this time. You guys do a lot, give me a lot of joy, inspire me a lot. So I am keeping my thoughts and prayers with you guys as
thank you,
as the strike continues, and I have fingers crossed that it gets resolved soon.
I think we all do. I mean, this industry is clear. It's at a now for a lot of people, and it's people are working, and it's a frustrating time for people all over our industry and beyond. So I also hope that it's sorted out soon and fairly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So besides a strike that is dominating, what are some of the other challenges and potential one for SAG? What are some of the challenges that you face breaking into the entertainment industry, and how have you overcome those obstacles?
I think there's so many obstacles in this industry specifically. As a plus-sized queer gay person, it's not an easy sell to a lot of people, for me to be a leading man, which is why I wrote my own material. But I was lucky enough that I even worked, to be honest, and got to work on some amazing projects. And I say I'm lucky enough because this industry has stigmas against all of those things. And, all of the things that I represent as an actor and creator and everything. So I feel, blessed that I get to have a voice in this industry, and that I get to continue fighting for other people who are not, quote unquote, the perfect idea of what this industry has thought is a standard for so many years. I think people have seen it start to shift a little bit. I think we have so much further to go, so much. But yeah, there's a lot that I've had to kind of, face and always move forward with.
Absolutely. We always have to move forward with it, Max. It's very important that we do move forward. And it's definitely
sorry, I cut out. I missed. I cut out.
No problem.
Am I back?
You're back. I was just saying,
good.
Okay, perfect. I gotta say, I'm also plus size as well. I'm trying to get in shape. It's like my kryptonite is sweets and ours is sweets. So I totally understand as well because it's definitely hard being heavy set in the industry.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I think you have sort of the cards stacked against you. Recently, I've been, exploring representation and trying to find managers or interviewing managers, interviewing with just different people in the industry. And it's definitely prevalent that there are people who see a picture of me and probably don't even look at my resume or read my materials, because when they see a plus size face, come across their screen, they're thinking, I don't think I can monetize this. I don't think I can turn this into profit for me. Also not just being a plus size person, but also being a gay man. I think that also adds to the fact that it's easier across this industry. It's always easier for people to say no than say yes. That's just how it is. They would rather say no to everything. They'd rather keep their day easy, keep doing sure things, and not take risks. And I think we've seen in the industry that the real things that pay off are when risks work, and they work a lot because the people who you're risking on are really creative people, and they have really amazing things to say. So I'm proud to get to work with, the people I do. I feel very grateful to have a good team. I hope to continue to add to that team with people who believe, that what matters the most is good stories and talent. And I'm a fighter. I like to persevere. I mean, that's who I am. So I'm not someone who gets knocked down. I just get right back up. That's always who I've been. So I think that's another thing in this industry. I don't let myself ever get down. It's not worth it. So just get back up, start swinging.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have to keep on swinging. First of all, it's so weird that image is everything and not the quality of your conversation, what you bring to the table. It's just a shot. It's just a shot at. But
Yeah.
also, I also gotta add that it's very important. Like it's not just like actors as well as screenwriters or directors or producers, even podcasters. Because sometimes I've had a lot of people say that have come on the podcast that have said, no, we can't come on the podcast. It just says like and sometimes I've had those grass is greener on the other side moments.
Sure.
So that's
I
the
think
worst part.
Yeah, it's not just about bias in our industry, it's about bias at large. And just, how I think a lot of this isn't just an American issue, it's a world issue, of people just, judging on a first glance, just looking at someone and saying, this is how they're defined. People are nuanced, people are fascinating, everyone is extremely different. And I think when we start to, just look at someone and feel like we can categorize them, then we're missing the whole point of humanity.
Absolutely. And humanity has various shades and various ideas and everything. And like once we lose our identity or humanity for like 15-second flash in a pan, we lost a heavy battle.
Yeah, completely agree.
Okay, so let's talk about something positive, shall we?
Would love it. Let's do it.
All right, so let's talk about things like this. When did you get your idea for the film?
I got my idea for the film just dating in New York City. I lived in New York for most of the last 10 years. I moved to LA like 3 years ago, so I've been here for a bit. But when I was in New York, I was just kind of, living my best young life and enjoying myself, but also dealing with the facts of being a young person dating, which is that it's actually very terrifying and that we have a lot of trauma and we have a lot of anxiety. And I I didn't really see that addressed in film in the way I needed it, or the way that I felt seen. I mean, especially obviously as a gay person, it just didn't exist. So once again, I'm just like, let me see if I can write it myself. I was working at the time on a TV show with the producer who I still work with, Buzz Koenig, who is an incredible person. And I used to do these readings for every time I would write an episode for that. And I wrote the first draft, Zach's Attract, which became Things Like This. So I, invited him. I invited some people, some friends of mine, actors, to read. And right away, he was like, this has potential. This is great. I will say that even though he said it has potential and it's great, only one scene remained from the original to now. But the heart is still the same. And the stories are very much mine. And it's not based on any truth or anything directly. Like, I didn't use any stories from my dating life to put in there. It's more the feeling and how I felt going through my life in New York. And I will say, though, over the last, I've been in a relationship for 2.5 years now. We filmed the movie a little more than a year ago now. So being in that relationship, though, and being with a person who, I'm very much in love with, and I feel loved every day, that taught me more about this film than than a lot of just living in New York. So falling in love, being in love during filming, and just being informed by that definitely added to the movie that I have today, and it made it a fully formed movie, like it feels, the best thing I can say about this movie for me is it genuinely feels like falling in love. And I wouldn't have been able to create that if I wasn't experiencing it at the same time.
I gotta say, I give you a lot of kudos because I also did 4 years in New York City, and I did a lot of I did stuff in New York City. I even stayed during shutdown of phase 4, and then the pandemic brought me home in May 2021. But I've learned a lot from my New York experience. But at the same time, I'm also terrified about dating. It's very tough and difficult, especially for us. It's extremely difficult.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of reasons why people feel like they shouldn't be loved. And that's what they go into dating feeling. This is the reason why I'm not good enough. These are the reasons why I don't deserve this. And when I was writing Things Like This, that's something I really wanted to explore. Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like I don't deserve this? Why am I so nervous? Why am I so scared to fall in love? Why am I so sure that it's going to end with just horrible sadness? And it's interesting because when I first started falling for my boyfriend, one of my best friends was also falling in love at the same time, but we were both very, very scared, like very, very terrified. And we were having a conversation in her room, and we were talking about it, but then she was just like, but what if we just let ourselves? And that was it. That was the end of the conversation, because all of a sudden, instead of just over analyzing every part of what could go wrong, what could, hurt me, what could end in me just being broken, was gone. What if I just let myself try for once, without preconceived notions, without, overthinking, over analyzing everything? It opened the door for me. And that's what I wanted to bring to Things Like This, was this feeling of like, there's this horrible fear of falling in love that I think is universal, because we are so scared of being hurt. But when you let go of that, what does that allow? Like, it's that's really what the basis of the film was.
I think you spoke a lot of truth. And yes, I'm going to have to use that advice. Press one, I three, one. Okay. I got to say, you got a really good all-star group of actors that want to sign on board for this project. Richard Regan, Eric Roberts, Charlie Tan, Joey Polari, and Jackie Cruz. So what were some of the reactions when you saw that these people were like, okay, I want to be involved with this?
Shock, honor. I mean, like, very, very grateful. Just they're all so talented and working. I mean, like, it sounds cliche, but like working with them was absolutely a dream. These are people who I've wanted to work with for years. I'm lucky that Charlie and I are friends. Charlie and I are friends, so we were able to, reconnect. We did Super Dark Times together years ago, and through this, he was the first person I ever sent the script to, and he, has been following being a part of this project for years. So I was just very, very grateful that it worked out timing wise, that he was able to be a part of the project. And Cara Buono, I memean, she's incredibly talented. She came in one day and completely just owned every scene. And Jackie Cruz is a marvel. Like, she had twins 30 days before she stepped on set. And then all of a sudden she's on set and she's just blowing us away. I just could not believe the level. And it's the type of thing where I can't imagine anyone else playing that role now, because it's so Jackie, and she is she's just so incredible in that film. Joey had actually been originally attached to another project that I was working on, but when we were starting to rev up to go, I reached out and I was like, Joey, like, please just take a look at this. Like, just let me know if this is something you would be interested in. And luckily we had a friendship, and we were able to just talk, and we built an incredible chemistry with each other. And I remember Joey said when we were because we would, during pre-production, we would Zoom once in a while just to try to even to build that chemistry more and more and more. But Joey said, like, he was like, I'm so confident in the chemistry we have, and that's what's going to sell this film. So if we can get that right, it's going to be great. And he was right on. We will, to capture it on camera. And he's just so talented. Like, Joey is so talented. His future is just, sky's the limit. So I am so grateful that he was in this, and lucky that we're friends. I feel grateful to know him. But Eric Roberts, I mean, what do I even have to say? He's just like an icon. He comes on set, he owns it, he rocks it, he has stories that you're like, how did this happen? This is incredible. This is unbelievable. And he's just a fantastic person. Also, I love his wife, Eliza. She's an amazing human being. So want to shout her out because she's such a special person. And Bridget Regan she came on set, and just like, I had almost, the only notes I had for her were, please do that again. Let me watch that again, because it is so good. And I didn't want it to end. I want to work with her again and again and again, because she blew me away. And she is just the most professional, lovely, and hardworking person. And I love working with actors who love acting, because what we get to do is such a special, unique, cool thing. And as a director actor, my favorite actors to work with are the people who are just like, this is the coolest job in the world, because it is. And we are so lucky. But I'm the luckiest to get to work with actors like that, because they just make my job a joy and completely stress-free.
Alrighty, so I gotta say that's a wonderful thing about this group, and I could definitely see that this film is going to be a very, very special film.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm just so excited for people to finally get to see it.
Alrighty. So let's talk about social media. And I gotta say, you and your team did a wonderful job going to 222,000 Instagram followers. I'm like, holy guacamole, that those are social media goals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I love Instagram. It's my favorite social media. It's very cool. It's the most artistic, the most creative. It's dope. And so getting to connect with people on that app out of all of them is very, very exciting and special. And just I love getting to see people who also create stuff and who are also passionate about I'm doing. So it's very cool to get to connect with people who feel seen by that.
And that's amazing. That's amazing. Like I can do social media, I can do stories, like, but not like creative stories. Like I'll just do like a self promo piece or like a photo
Mm-hmm.
piece, add some music around it, and maybe, and of course, a link. Thank God for that. Now all they
Mm-hmm.
got to do is just put a hyperlink in their posts. Allows to
Yeah,
hyperlink in
that's
when we
true.
post. That would be much. That would be the best way to Meta. If you're listening, please add a hyperlink to the post.
Yeah, it's interesting. Instagram's made these improvements over the years that make it easier to connect and connect with people. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is one of the next improvements to come out very soon. But yeah, no, I just love connecting with people. So Instagram's a very cool way of getting to do that.
Absolutely,
Who
absolutely. So
who
we got
definitely tries everyone who reaches out. Obviously, connecting with the people who once again appreciate what we're working on. And yeah, it's anyone who ever wants to reach out to me, social media, Instagram, go for it, because more than likely I will connect.
absolutely. We'll connect afterwards. I can tell you that much. All righty.
Yeah.
So I cannot do TikTok for the life of me. No, TikTok is going to be very hard for me to do.
Yeah, I'm not a huge I mean, maybe someday I will end up TikToking more and more, but I enjoy the content on there somewhat. I think it's a cool app. I understand why it gets the response it does. Um, I also really love watching Broadway clips on there. So that's very fun. But yeah, I'm not, I don't post on TikTok much. I posted a few promotional stuff for the movie there so far, and I'll probably continue to do that the closer and closer we get. But yeah, I'm not huge on posting on TikTok, but I will say I'm on there. I definitely am looking at stuff and enjoying it and laughing. So um yeah, it's a great app, but I'm definitely more creating on Instagram.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we got to start winding down our conversation. So if you had the opportunity to meet with people who want to enter the entertainment industry, what advice would you share with them?
I always say my number one advice for anyone joining the industry is trust your instincts, because you are your best judge of character. You are your best judge of what's best for you. And you have to be the one to gauge what's right and for you, what's right and what's wrong for you. And the only way to do that is to really just make sure that you are listening to yourself. So your number one ally in this business is your instincts. It's you. Make sure that you are always listening to that voice in your head, because the few times that I haven't, it's definitely led me in a way that would have been a lot better if I had just listened and trusted my instincts in the first place. Another one is, obviously, I said earlier, don't give up. Don't. I really believe there's space in this industry for people who are passionate and creative and dynamic and all different kinds of humans. So keep going. There's people, there's producers, there's, companies who want to listen, who want to create with you. And, ever since we started this movie, Buzz Koenig, once again, the producer, he's always said, our film will find its family. And I have always stuck with that. How I ended up with the best crew and the best cast because I stuck with people who were passionate about it and people who believed in it. I don't want to work with people who don't believe in what I'm doing and what my company's doing. There's no reason for me to try to convince people who aren't going to be convinced to work with me. I just need to find the people who do, create it, and then those people who passed will wish that they had said yes in the first place.
Now that's good advice. I definitely got to say that much right now. That is good advice. And that could be used for people are going to regret not coming on here or working with you. That's like, they're going to wish, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, I think, there's so many amazingly talented people who have made it. And how many, if not all of them, got a no first. So make sure you're not the person who's regretting that you could have worked with the next, Al Pacino, Meryl Streep, anyone, or Max Talisman.
Absolutely. And maybe even get interviewed by the next Jacob Elyachar.
Maybe.
All righty, Max, we got to start officially winding down. So first of all, when can my audience find you, connect with you, not just on Instagram, but where can they find things like this, or where can they connect with
your
work?
Sure. So you, everyone can connect with me on all social media at the Max T Show. I am that across the board. So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at the Max T Show. You can also follow at Things Like This Movie on Instagram. We do post updates on there. We post a lot of stories on there, just giving updates or, showing what our stars are up to right now. And, the truth is that anytime there's news about the film, which is soon, you will see it obviously on my Instagram and Things Like This. So follow those too. And, you will exactly where we're going and when, and I'll see you there.
Awesome. So guys, if you missed any episodes of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, or this is your first time to the podcast channel, visit our channels on Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Spotify, and Spreaker. It's the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. And guys, in August, jakes-shake.com, the blog that started it all, is turning 12 years old. So go look for my music reviews. If you missed a couple of seasons of Masked Singer, go check that out. Want to know what's going on with America's Got Talent? Visit jakes-shake.com. Max, thank you so much for visiting my podcast today. I really appreciate it. I really wish you and the entire cast of crew of Things Like This the very best as this film continues to roll out.
Thank you so much. It was great to talk to you, and I can't wait to share more. Thank you.
You're so welcome, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a great one, everybody. Goodbye.